Before I get to the show itself, one thing that absolutely must be noted about Destination X is the announcing. Mike Tenay was god-awful. In all my years of watching wrestling, I have never heard an announcer sound so bored and unenthusiastic. I don't think he even raised his voice all night. Even during the Fatal 4-Way, which was off the fucking charts, he sounded like he couldn't care less about what was going on. Now, give JB some credit. He got a little tongue-tied at certain points, but at least he was trying. Like during RVD Jerry Lynn, he was really good. But Tenay just gave him absolutely nothing to work with and just ended up dragging JB down with him. They desperately needed Don West out there. Somebody had to show some honest-to-God enthusiasm for this show. Jesus Christ. I offer Destination X as the final proof that Mike Tenay needs to be replaced as lead announcer in the worst way possible. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about this pay-per-view. The opener was Kazarian versus Samoa Joe. Really good match. Joe looked like a beast for dominating most of it. He looked more motivated than usual. He even broke out the suicide dive, which he doesn't do very often these days. My only complaint is that the wrong guy won. Joe was so much more over than Kaz. That crowd really wanted him to win. You could see that finish coming a mile away, too. Like when Joe started arguing with the referee, I was like, oh shit, here it comes. I mean, I really don't understand this losing streak they've got Joe on at all. They've done really similar stuff like this with him in the past. It just feels so redundant, and I think it's really starting to hurt his character. Great opener, but Joe really should have won this thing. Next was the Doug Williams Open Challenge, which was answered by some guy named Mark Haskins. You know, this was pretty good. You know, Haskins botched a couple times, but he looked like he had potential. I didn't have a problem with the match, but if Doug Williams was doing an open challenge, I don't understand why you'd go with a complete unknown like this. If this was a tryout for Haskins, that's one thing. But if you're celebrating the X Division, I'd like to see an appearance by one of the guys who helped build it. I was really crossing my fingers for Petey Williams. Maybe Jay Lethal, even Sanjay Dutt would have been cool. So the match was fine, I just didn't care for the choice of opponents. Eric Young and Shark Boy versus Generation Me. Just a pointless comedy match that really didn't belong on this show. I did mark out for Shark Boy. You know, Shark Boy has always made me laugh. I even got a kick out of the Stone Cold parody thing. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I thought it was funny. I just think Eric Young is an absolute jackass. I don't find him entertaining at all. I just want him to go away. A good match, but the only thing it really accomplished was burying Generation Me at the hands of two comic relief characters, one of whom was only there for one show. And considering the state of your tag team division right now, that's just plain stupid. Ultimate X for the #1 contendership to the X Division title. As I predicted, Robbie E did absolutely nothing in this match. That guy is 100% complete garbage. Thank God Amazing Red was in there. Red was the star. He carried that match. Shelley and Moore held up their end, although generally they really didn't utilize the cables enough, I felt. There weren't enough spots there, and if you're not going to make use of those things, there's really no point in doing an Ultimate X. So this wasn't the best Ultimate X ever, but it was at least good, due in large part to Amazing Red. It wasn't Brian Kendrick, Doug Williams. It was good. I would have been happy with Shelley or Red going over. Either one of them would have been great, but really, Alex Shelley was the best choice, and I'm very glad he won. Also, great to see Chris Sabin come out at the end there to celebrate with him. That was a nice touch.
Nut hugger.
Shut up. RVD versus Jerry Lynn. I don't think I need to say anything here. You know, we all know what these guys delivered together. I love the sunset flip powerbomb onto the steel chair. That was awesome. I mean, there were some pretty great sequences in this thing, so this was a terrific match for history reasons. Though, personally, I'm tired of Rob Van Dam. I think he's completely full of himself, and he doesn't push himself much anymore, but he had a good showing here. And God bless Jerry Lynn, man. He's getting up there in age now, but he can still go with the best of them. He earns every one of those "you still got it" chants. That was great, but as good as it was, it could not hold a candle to the next match. Austin Aries, Low Key, Zema Ion, Jack Evans. Holy shit. You know why I love this match? Because these four guys did what ODB and Jackie Moore have not done. They performed like they really wanted contracts. For 14 minutes, these guys went balls to the fucking wall. This was TNA's match of the year, hands down. Every guy got to shine here. Everyone delivered. The match told a story. And this was the match that made the show worth my money. If you didn't see this pay-per-view, I would say order the replay for this match alone. It really is that good. I would have been happy with any of those guys winning. Personally, I was rooting for Jack Evans, but this was really a no-lose situation. Any one of them would be a fine addition. Even Zema Ion, I wasn't sold on him going into this, but he made a believer out of me. Absolutely fantastic match. I can't say enough good things about it. Austin Aries gets the contract. Hell yeah. Abyss versus Brian Kendrick for the X Division title. Whoever put this match after the Fatal 4-Way is an idiot. They went from the most insane match this company has put on this year to the slowest match on the card. Not that it was bad necessarily, but after the Fatal 4-Way, I felt like I was watching this thing in slow motion. And I didn't like the ending at all. 3 Immortal guys come out, then 3 X Division guys come out and get destroyed by them, then the entire X Division roster comes out and fends them off. So you're basically saying that the X Division is only a match for Immortal when they have an overwhelming numbers advantage, which really makes the X Division look like shit more than anything else. The match itself was decent, I guess, but it was definitely the slowest match of the show, which we all pretty much expected, I think. At least they made Kendrick's win look like a big deal, but the way this was staged was just really ineffective, I thought. In the main event, AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels. This is another one that really doesn't need to be talked up. Another outstanding match with these two. Probably another Match of the Year candidate, and certainly the best pay-per-view main event this company has put on since... well, since the last time AJ and Daniels main evented a pay-per-view. And overall, Destination X was definitely worth my money. I'm glad I ordered it, and while it wasn't perfect, every match was good to great. And seriously, you guys, this was so much better than anything the Hogan-Bischoff regime has churned out. Order the replay if you haven't seen it. That Fatal 4-Way alone is worth the money. So, stop watching this video, go watch Destination X. Peace. Out.
Chain wrapped around his hand. Good. What the hell? Now what? What the hell is this? Wait a minute. Oh! We already saw the 4 clowns from the rafters. We already saw them revealed. Who the hell is this? And another blackout in the impact zone. Stay from behind. Scorpion death drop. Where's the referee? Sting stops up. Henry slides in. Here's 1. Here's 2. New World Heavyweight Champion. We call him New World Champ. Sting promised it. He did it. Shocking moment. No help from another clown.
You're only delaying the inevitable, you know. I just don't think I can do it this time. You have to. But Sting. World title. Ripping off the Joker. And the clowns, all the clowns. Mexican America. And all the ridiculous overbooking. Oh god, it's a fucking nightmare come to life. The sooner you do it, the sooner it'll be over with. What if I choose death instead? You don't have a choice. So be it. Shocking moment, Taz? No. Not even a little bit. The shocking thing is that the writers actually waited a few weeks before doing another idiotic title change back onto Sting that will ultimately mean absolutely nothing. The shocking thing is that the people in power in this company, for reasons that only make sense to them, believe that a 52-year-old Sting is somehow more relevant than Ken Anderson.
You people are fools!
Not that Ken Anderson is the greatest thing ever by any stretch, but he was a rising star in WWE a couple years ago, which makes him a hell of a lot more relevant than Sting, who hasn't been a big deal in wrestling since the 1990s. The shocking thing is that they apparently believe this so strongly that they think it's worth completely destroying Anderson's viability as a top star just so they can put Sting over again. And that's not a hyperbole. Anderson has now had 2 world title reigns, each having a ton of build-up, each lasting no longer than a month. And both times, it was derailed because he was shoved aside in favor of Sting. You might as well just send Anderson back to the mid-card forever, because no one is going to take him seriously as a credible world champion after this fiasco. Seriously, am I missing something? What is with TNA's fascination with Sting? I just don't get it. When they put the world title on him back in March, the ratings went down for 8 weeks. Yeah, there was still that typical ratings fluctuation here and there, but viewership-wise, it was a pretty steady decline. That should have been the end of it. Sting is just not a draw as the world champion. He's in the same position as all these other old-timers, in that the die-hard, brain-dead casual fans who can't let go of their childhoods will tune in to watch him no matter what. Meaning that segments that he appears in will do well in the ratings most of the time, but he doesn't do what the company really needs, which is attract new viewers, because all the really important stuff he did in his career happened before those new viewers were born. New, young, modern wrestling fans don't look at Sting and marvel at how cool he is. They look at him and ask, why is that old guy cosplaying as the Joker? And if anyone out there gives me shit for mentioning that again, you can go sodomize yourself with a rubber hose. Last week it was the interrogation room scene from The Dark Knight. This week it was the bank robbery scene from The Dark Knight. This is beyond plagiarism. This is one step away from outright theft.
This whole show violates everything about my journalistic integrity.
Sure, the fortune reveal was cool, but that doesn't excuse this. Why stop there, Russo? Why not steal the warehouse scene and have Sting burn half of Hogan's face off with diesel fuel? Why not steal the banquet scene and have Sting drop Karen Jarrett out a 50-story window? It's crap like this. Crap like Sting commanding an army of baseball bat-wielding clowns that makes me think Russo has been let off his leash, because you could see that typical Russo logic seeping in through the cracks all over this show. If you don't keep this guy reined in, you know clean finishes are going to be few and far between, there's going to be overbooking up the ass, and we're going to be right back to that god-awful, outdated pretense of heels never being able to go over clean and always having to cheat to win. Tara has to bring back that disgusting pet spider just to beat a chump like Madison Rayne. Austin Aries has to use the stupid bulk of Dillygaff to beat Shannon Moore. Why does Austin Aries have to cheat to beat Shannon fucking Moore? He had no problem winning the Fatal 4-Way at the pay-per-view clean. And don't even get me started on Mexican America. Those assholes are dangerous in the ring and should not be getting pushed. Hell, if you needed a heel tag team to go for the belts, why not use Generation Me? At least those guys know how to work safely in the ring. Actually, Gen Me have been released. Why are you doing this to me? Because I can. Am I being too harsh about some things? Possibly. But it's just so frustrating. This show had improved significantly in the last month. The booking, pacing, wrestling were all getting better. Then TNA finally showed us what they were really capable of with a great X Division pay-per-view, and now it's right back to business as usual. You push a 50-plus-year-old man in the last twilight of his career like he's God's gift to everything. You have the announcers stress the importance of the Bound for Glory series. Then you go to a match with 3 of the participants in which not a single one of them gets his entrance shown. Apparently, these guys are important enough to main event your biggest pay-per-view of the year for the World Heavyweight title, but not quite important enough to get their entrances shown on TV because that would take too much time away from Sting and his army of clowns. I gotta be honest. This show really pissed me off. Impact was getting better. They had their best pay-per-view in a long time, and just when I start to get my hopes up, this happens. I don't know what else to say. Maybe I just shouldn't bother having hope for this company. I wouldn't go that far. There's still hope. What could possibly make you think that? They fired Orlando Jordan.